Hey all, it is me. I am here with SDA, another Wi-Fi league. Yes, I am in two upload required Wi-Fi leagues. I kind of just wanted to get as many chances as I could to use things that I've never used this gen before Champions. And by the grace of God, I got round one overall, pick one again. So I'm using Val. I'm going to put the team matchup on the screen while we're waiting. It's kind of sort of the same like mindset with in terms of wanting to use Val as a breaker, having a spiker, having, I love me some Hisui and Quillfish, but I also have Terra Hydrapple on this team, which I've been meaning to use this entire gen, and I'm really excited. But I mean, when you look at the matchup, I'm actually really concerned. The only thing I'm really concerned about is honestly Boulder. Everything else, I mean, is kind of, I don't know. Deoxys kind of sort of deals with Mints slash Chiyu. Or no, I'm concerned about Boulder, but I'm also concerned about webs. I'm really scared of Masquerade webs because I don't have removal on this team. So they might feel inclined to bring webs, but I could also bring webs into them because the removals of bramble. I mean, and I don't really spin block it well, but anyway, I'm really just concerned about that. I have some really cool brings that I'll go into once we get into team preview, but my opponent is now waiting for me instead of me waiting for them. So I'm going to cut to when we get into the game, and I'll see you guys in a bit. All right, I have just connected with my opponent, and they have just told me that they are Terra Rock on Iron Boulder, which I honestly was not expecting. These are the exact six that I predicted. Oh my goodness, I'm crazy. Anyway, there's no webs, which I was insanely scared of. Jesus, but I'm bringing some cool stuff. I've banded Lando because they're now that I know that they're rock boulder and not flying, which I was kind of concerned about, or grass a teeny bit. I kind of expected grass the least, but flying I was really concerned about. They have no ground immunity or resist. Like I bring in Lando and I just click Bandit Adamant Earthquake. There is also no Bramble Gas, meaning that they have no removal, which is amazing. So alas, I'm going to lead off with my Hydrapple. That was the idea. That was the plan. I want to get my Terastallization off as soon as possible and go from there. But definitely good luck, have fun to my opponent. Another team composition with Iron Valiant. So hoping and manifesting that I can use it to the best of my ability. Okay, so they are going to lead off with the Clodsire. Okay, that's fine, honestly. I'm going to be so real. I'm going to just switch, and I'm going to go hard Lando. I'm not going to think about this. I want to put on some offensive pressure immediately. And by doing that, by bringing in Lando, they don't have a resist or an immunity to Earthquake. So I can get off huge damage. They go for Toxic. Okay, I'm honestly okay with this. So the switching is probably going to be Aloe. But, I mean, I don't really mind. I'm just going to click Earthquake. Not even going to think about this. But they are toxic on Clodsire. They opt not to get their rocks up, which honestly I am okay with. Kind of happy they didn't get rocks up. And they're rock boulder, probably meaning they're banded. So they might be like booster crown. I could see something like that happening. But they are going to switch out. And I got to pull up my notepad closer. Who is that? That's Aloe. Okay, so Aloe's probably Fizz Def. Earthquake is going to do a lot. They're going to see that I'm banded. Yeah. So that did, I think I got min rolled. Lando versus Aloe. That's definitely Fizz Def Aloe. Yeah, I got absolutely min rolled. Jesus. Okay, so they're Fizz Def. They might feel inclined to flip. I mean, if they flip, do I really care if well, I think I kind of want an Earthquake. I want an Earthquake here, only because, I mean, I want to get Aloe low as possible. And if they do want to flip turn on me, then I'm fine with that. I'm kind of just using this as a breaker. So I could, yeah, so I think I high rolled that time. Flip turn comes off. That's fine. They're going to be at around 35% when they come back in. So if I were them, I would probably expect maybe a Chi-Yu pivot here. It's Boulder. Okay. So I'm going to just pivot into, they might Mighty Cleave. They're definitely going to Mighty Cleave. They shouldn't ever not Mighty Cleave. So part of me says I want to bring in they're definitely like booster speed on Crown. I want to bring in Quillfish. I feel like they Mighty Cleave, and I could get up a Spike, which could be really meaningful. And I need the Spike in order to deal with the Chi Yu and chip it down. So they shouldn't ever Swords Dance at all. They should always Mighty Cleave me. And I want to keep Uxie healthy on the off chance that they do get a Swords Dance up at one point. I don't know their set. So I'm going to switch out. Going to go into Quillfish. Quillfish is kind of expendable. It was kind of meant to be like the anti-web kind of sort of thing going on. So, but they are going to Terra. This is actually great because now they're weakening themselves into Vacuum Wave from Val. But they are Terra Rock. Odds are they're probably Choice Band. Let's see here. They do go for the Mighty Cleave like I expected. I'm going to go from 333 to 183. That looks like banded from what I can tell. Yeah, that's banded. Yeah, that's mid-low roll banded. Okay, so I'm going to get a Spike Up here. I think getting a Spike Up is huge. They're up to stay, so I'm going to do so. And how low do I need Boulder in order to revenge with Val? I need it at half with Vacuum Wave. Do I want to get 3 layers up? I think so, honestly. I think so. I mean, if this gets up to full, do I care a lot? I mean, I could Bar Barrage here. I think I want to Spike again. Or I could Bar Barrage, potentially get a Poison, which I honestly like a lot. And it's either 1 Spike or 3, and if they pivot into Clodsire, which I predict them to flip turn to go Clod, I'm not going to get up all 3 Spikes because I'm going to want to bring in Lando before they get rocks up themselves. So I'm gonna Bar Barrage here. 50% chance to Poison. I do get it. That's nice. That is great. That's good for me. They're going to flip turn here just to try and get some health back. And then odds are they're probably going to go Clodsire. And then if they do, I'm going to switch into my Lando and then claim a kill. Because Lando claims a kill here. Okay, so instead they decide to go into Boulder. I'm going to be honest here. Mighty Cleave is going to hurt. I can go into... I can sack this. I did get a Spike Up. How do I punish Sylveon if I get rid of this? I don't really punish it all that well if I sack this. So I think maybe sacking Lando is probably in my best interest. And then I can go into this and click rocks. I don't want to sack Lando this early. I mean, I pressure the Clodsire really well, and I pressure Aloe really well. So I think, yeah, I am going to sack Lando. I don't really pressure Sylveon without... I pressure Sylveon with Lando, but Lando's on limited time. They could be Protect Wish, so I'm not going to really be able to stay around for too long, but they are going to Mighty Cleave here, and I think I'm going to bring in Val. I should live a Mighty Cleave after the Intimidate drop. Yeah, I eat that up. So, yeah, I can go Val. And honestly, I'm going to just click Psyshock. I could Close Combat, actually. I kind of like that more. It covers for a potential pivot into... I kind of like Psyshock. I mean, if they go into Crown, I think they're booster. If they're banded on this, if they're banded on that, then they have to have a Scarfer somewhere, and I don't know. I think the Crown is booster. I don't know. I'm kind of going off of nothing, but I could very well just click Psyshock here. Psyshock into Vacuum Wave would pick up the KO. And I think them going into Crown is a little odd, considering I could close combat, right? So I think Moonblast is the lesser of the two evils. So I'm going to Side Shock here. I should be catching probably a Clodsire. I don't know if they go Crown on this. Good graces. That could also be Sylveon. Yeah, it is. Okay, awesome. So Spike's going to get the Spike up. Side Shock is going to do a lot to this. They're at 88, and they go down to... Holy, that's a 2-hit KO. So they're Spadef. They're Spadef as heck. I can... Do I kill with a... I kill with a... Hold on. 25, 30, 35, 40. I don't kill with a close combat, but yeah, I kill with another Psyshock. So I'm just going to click Psyshock again. And then, yeah, Sylveon's dead. So this is huge. That means Quillfish is expendable. Wow. Valiant is very broken. Holy. Shout out Modest. Because of their speed tiers, I was able to run Modest Val. So it worked out perfectly. Yeah, like that's a lot of damage. Shout out Val. Now I should kind of be expecting the reason. That is... Okay, that's this. How much... I could sack the Quillfish here. Perfectly fine. Val into Iron Boulder. How low do I need this again? Is this Terra Rock for a Vacuum Wave? I need it at half. It's at 75 right now. I'm going to sack Quillfish. I don't need Quillfish anymore because the Sylveon's dead. Then I can go back into Val, and I can click Psyshock again. They go for Mighty Cleave. Cool. I got a Spike Up, which is great. Now, would Rocks into Spikes put this in range of a Vacuum Wave? No, that's a passive play. Sylveon's also dead. It's Claude, Aloe, Crown, and... Well, no, I don't want this to get chipped. So I think I just go back into Val. I don't think I have a reason not to. And then I think I can threaten with a... I think I can threaten with a close combat here, because if they go Clodsire, I can always just Psyshock the following turn. Yeah. And they might sack Aloe, which if they sack Aloe, then that's okay. So, yeah. I could also... Yeah, I'm going to close combat. I'm going to trust my gut. Go for a close combat. I expect an Aloe sack here, to be honest. If they go Clodsire, then that's okay, because I can... I'd probably 2-hit KO with Clodsire, depending. Yeah, I mean, if there's Spadef Clodsire, I do 34 with close combat. Yeah, that is Aloe. Okay, that's what I was expecting. So this Aloe should die between this and Poison. I think I'm going to Psyshock here. Psyshock covers for Clodsire Potential Pivot. Yeah, and then this is going to be a dead Val. Well, it's about to be a dead Val, but yeah, no, it's going to be a dead Aloe. So that's great. Val is putting in a lot of work. It's definitely breaking this team apart, which is exactly what it was kind of meant to do on this kind of team structure. Wild Ones. Who is that? That is Crown. Is that Booster? Let's see. It is not Booster. Why would you bring this in now? I'm gonna go into Hydrapple. I mean, I kind of eat anything this thing wants to throw at me, and I can just Terra and then Dragon Tail it out. They go for sub. Okay. Are you sub Calm Mind? Can I yawn you through sub? I can't. You're sub lefties. Okay. What is this? I think you're sub Calm Mind. I don't think you can be Stored Power. And I'm not Encore. That's not good. What? I mean, me tearing, does that matter a lot? No, I don't gain any resist that I would need. I'm gonna Earthquake here. Earthquake should, in theory... always break? Yeah, Earthquake should always break. So I'm going to Earthquake here. They are Subcom Mind. Okay, so they're probably 2 attacks. I am Earthquake, luckily. Earthquake was kind of covering for... I kind of thought like a Subcom mindset could maybe come, but I just didn't think it would be... I just didn't think it would be that liable because I could have Encore and Uxie. But I am Earthquake covering for Clodsire as well as something like this. So sub should break. And I mean, I do 30% with Earthquake. So... I could always just... I'm just going to stay in and just spam Earthquake at this point. They Tachyon Cutter. It's going to do 0. Maybe I could have Terra'd for that reason, honestly. To resist the Steel move. That would have been smart. Yeah. Oh, Earthquake. That did so much. Holy. I can Earthquake here. So here's my sequence of events here, honestly. I'm going to Terra into water. I told them I was water, right? Let me just make sure that I did. I did. So I'm going to Terra water. I'm going to Earthquake. And then after I Earthquake here, I'm going to swap into Uxie just so that I can get regen back. And then from there... I can go from there. They do Tachyon Cutter. This should bounce. Yeah, it's gonna bounce. And then I can go into Uxie here after this Earthquake. Nice. Could cover for a Psyshock because right now I don't really... Well, I could deal with Scarf... what's it called? I deal with Scarf Chi-Yu perfectly fine. So, because of my Deoxys. So, I mean, I should... How much does a Psyshock really do to me? Do I live 1 at this range? I'm at 159. I want to say I don't. 159. I'm at 38. I don't live a Psyshock. I could go Uxie. I mean, Uxie's kind of my way of... And Aloe's dead, right? It's yeah. I'm going to be honest. I can deal with Scarf Chi-Yu with Vacuum Wave plus the Spike and Deoxys. So I'm going to go for an Earthquake. And if they're Psyshock, then they're Focus Blast. I don't know if this kills me. Yeah, no. Hydrapple's the GOAT. Holy Hydrapple. So yeah, I mean, this is going to die. And then they're probably going to bring in Boulder. I don't have a switch into Boulder. And then I don't think I'm going to be able to get enough regen to where, like, I can get out of, like, Dark Pulse Flinch. This also leads me to believe that they're probably Scarf Chi-Yu, which they bring in now. Do they take Spikes? They do, so they're probably Scarf. I can... Does Val live a Dark Pulse? I'm not going to be able to get enough regen in order to get out of range of this, unfortunately. Get out of range of potential flinch is kind of what I'm referring to. So I think, unfortunately, I'm going to just have to sack this Mon. I think I'm just going to go for an Earthquake and kind of go from there. Does Val take a Chi-Yu Dark Pulse? I can go into this. And then I can go for, I want to say a Moonblast. Or, I mean, nah, I can just go for a Close Combat. Because I'm going to have to close... I don't want a Psyshock Raw. That is low-key a throw. So, I mean, I'm going to have to Close Combat, and then on the Clodsire, just click Psyshock at that point. They do switch. So, good time. That is going to be the Clodsire. Yeah. They take the Spike. Close Combat comes off. That does a lot. Oh my god. Val. Holy Val. And then their Black Sludge. Okay. I'm just going to Psyshock here. And go for that. If they want to switch back out into Chi-Yu, I mean, I can always just vacuum wave and then superpower into, because I have a sack. But yeah, Val's going to claim that kill. And then from there, I mean, Deoxys wins this game for me. How low? I can vacuum wave this. Yes. Game. Don't DC. Don't DC. Don't DC. Don't DC. Don't DC. Don't DC. I win the game. I win the game. I win the game. I win the game.
So we actually do end up DCing here, and me and my opponent talked after the game, and we decided that I would win the game 2-0. Reason being is this play here with Boulder into Val. My play is to always vacuum wave, and after I click vacuum wave, they would be in range of a U-turn from Uxie. My Uxie lives any hit, even a crit Mighty Cleave. That's why I'm heavy duty boots. It was for a +2 Mighty Cleave, so I think crit. Well, crit would be a little bit more than the +2. But anyway, I always live the hit. And from there, I could click U-turn. And then after I click U-turn, because of the vacuum wave damage, they would die. And then I can bring in my Deoxys speed versus Chi-Yu. And I can always click superpower as I outpace any form of Chi-Yu, whether it be Scarf Timid, Scarf Modest, or even anything random. The only out that they had was clicking was being Choppleberry, which talked after the game, and they were not. So that is going to be a 2-0 victory for us, and I hope to see you guys in week 2 of the SDA.